guys! Today we're going to talk about evaluating expressions and solving equations. So first I want to start off with a little bit of vocab, just to make sure you remember some stuff from Algebra 1. So I have 4 different terms here that I need you to match with their 4 definitions. We've got an equation, expression, variable, and operation. So what I want you to do right now is pause this video and see if you can match each vocab term to its definition. Alright, let's see if you got them right. So here we go. An equation is a statement in which 2 mathematical expressions are equal. Equation, equal, it's kind of in the name. An expression is a mixture of numbers and has at least one variable. A variable is a letter that's used to represent any unknown quantity. And an operation might include addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So now that we have a decent understanding of the vocabulary, let's use it. So we've got this expression that we need to evaluate. A plus the quantity b minus 2 squared, where we know a is equal to 2 and b is equal to negative 3. So when it says to evaluate an expression, we're going to try and figure out what this number, what this answer comes out to be. So we've got this variable a and a variable b, and we know the quantities of those variables. So anywhere I see an a, I'm going to put 2 because I know that a is equal to 2. And anywhere I see b, there's a b, I know I'm going to plug in negative 3 because b is equal to negative 3. So let's just start by evaluating using the numbers that we already know. A is 2, so anywhere I see a, I'm going to put 2, plus, and then we have those parentheses, we're going to keep the parentheses, and we know b was negative 3, so we're going to put negative 3, and then we already had that minus 2. We're going to square that quantity, close the parentheses, and square the whole thing. And this is the number that we're trying to simplify. So if you remember, we have this acronym PEMDAS. PEMDAS. What that stands for is parentheses, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. So anything that's inside the parentheses, we need to simplify first. So inside the parentheses here, I see that negative 3 minus 2. So I'm going to start by simplifying the negative 3 minus 2. So we still have this 2 out front, plus then negative 3 minus 2, we're getting more negative, gets us to negative 5. We're going to square that. Then the next thing in PEMDAS is E. E stands for exponents. So any exponents that we have, we're going to go ahead and apply those. Here we have this exponent of 2. So we need to figure out what negative 5 squared is, aka negative 5 times negative 5. So negative 5 times negative 5, and negative times a negative is a positive. So we have positive 25. So we're at 2 plus 25. Then the next thing in PEMDAS would be to either multiply or divide. We always do that from left to right. Here we don't have any multiplication or division, so we can skip those. Then we can either add or subtract, again doing that from left to right. The only operation we have left is addition, so we're going to go ahead and add the 2 and the 25. So we get a final answer of 27. Alright, let's look at another example where we're going to evaluate an expression. Here, we need to find the volume of a cone given its radius and height. And I have given you the formula for the volume of a cone. If you don't remember it, it's 1/3 pi r squared h. V for volume, r for radius, h for height. We already know the radius is 75, and we know the height is 225. So just like with the last example, anywhere I see an r, I'm going to put 75. Anywhere I see an h, I'm going to put 225. So let's go ahead and just plug those in where we can. So the volume is 1/3 pi, and then our radius was 75, so we're going to take 75 squared. And then since it doesn't have an operation next to it, we're still going to multiply. If it had an operation sign like addition or subtraction, we would add or subtract or even divide. If there's a little x or if there's no operation sign at all, that tells us we are doing multiplication. Alright, so now that we have our equation set up, we're going to go back and we're going to do PEMDAS again. So remember, we've got P, E, M, D, A, and S. So P for parentheses. Do we have anything inside of the parentheses that needs to be simplified? If so, we would do that first. So inside the parentheses, I see a 75, and I see the 225. Those are already as simplified as they can get, so we can move on from P and move on to E. E stands for exponents. I see this exponent of 2, so I'm going to go ahead and square 75. So 75 times 75, and we get 5,625. So I'm going to put that into my equation. So we've got equals 1/3 pi times 5,625 times the 225 that we already had. Now, what we have left over, we've got this 1/3 times pi, right? There's no operation sign in front of it, times 5625 and times 225. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go straight into my calculator and type all of that out. So we need 1/3, I'm going to put that fraction in my calculator, times pi, times 5625, times 225, and we get this really, really big number. I'm going to go ahead and write that out. 1,325,359 point, let's call it 0.4. Let's round to the 10th here. So let's go ahead and add those commas so we know exactly what number this is. We've got 1,325,359.4. And since our equation doesn't give us any units, for example, if it gave us inches, for volume we would put inches cubed, but this one doesn't have any units, so I'm just going to put the letter U for units, cubed. And that's our final answer. Now remember, if you got confused on something or you just need to see it again, you can always go back and rewatch this video. Thanks, y'all!